Hi everybody, and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, where I have rented a 2011 BMW 328i via Turo. For those of you that don't know, Turo is basically like an Airbnb but for cars, so I'm renting this vehicle from a private owner who put their vehicle on the app, and now I'm renting it for about the same price that you would rent like a Honda Civic through Enterprise or something like that. So, without further ado, here's my first impressions of the 328i. I'm gonna go drive this to Joshua Tree with my girlfriend, and we're gonna go camping. But before that, I wanted to let you guys know what I thought just from driving it from the airport to this Trader Joe's where I'm gonna go grocery shopping. First of all, I think it's worth noting that the BMW lineup, especially from the 2010 to 2000 era, in that range, I think are not very photogenic. I don't think their looks shoot well on camera, whether that's photos or video. I do think they're much better looking in person. So I was actually surprised because the photos, this car, I don't know, it just kind of looked like every other boring BMW. But in person, it actually looks pretty sporty. And the paint is a fantastic silver. It's almost bluish, but maybe that's just the reflection of the sun. I really like the way it looks in person, even though in photos and stuff, it didn't impress me that much. I've never driven a BMW before, but one of the things I've always liked about the 3 Series is the size of this thing. I think it's the perfect sedan size. Not too big, not too small. If you want a sports sedan, this is the size that you want. You can still whip it around like a sports car a little bit, but you have 4 doors, obviously. It's rear-wheel drive, so it keeps the great driving dynamics. It has a straight 6 engine, which is buttery smooth. I'm already impressed with the engine. How does it drive? Well, just on my way from the airport to the grocery store, I was at first disappointed because I thought it was a little bit lethargic. Even though the engine was smooth, the transmission just seemed kind of slow. It didn't really even feel much faster than my Fusion. But then I put it into the sport mode, where you just pull this back and then knock it over to the left, and bam, that's when it picked up. Then all of a sudden the whole car comes alive and it feels like a real sports sedan. So I think from now on, the first thing I'm gonna do is just put it into drive and put it straight into sport. I'm not even gonna mess around with the normal drive mode because it's not nearly as exciting, and it totally changes the driving dynamic of the whole car. The interior is pretty classic 2011 era interior. This is a base model, I'm pretty sure. It's not like, doesn't have any special packages. It has decent leather seats, and some nice sort of wood paneling here, but there is still a lot of hard plastic. Since it's not anything special, there's no like gear shift levers on the steering wheel or anything like that. But I mean, it is still luxurious, and it's a step above something of a similar speed, but maybe a brand down. So if you were to get like a VW Jetta Sport or something like that, I think this would still be a little bit nicer than that. I don't even know if a VW Jetta Sport is a real thing, but you get the point. German car, feels great, but it is a little bit chintzy since it's on the lower end and it is from 2011. I think my Porsche's interior is definitely a big step above in terms of interior quality already. Having said that, there's nothing wrong with this per se. It's just not quite up to the same level as like a Porsche would be. One way you know that this is a very German car is the way that the cup holders are just a complete afterthought. I mean, this might remind you of my Porsche's cup holders where they kind of slide out. Oh my God, they don't even want to come out. Okay, whatever. Germans don't care about cup holders, and it's very evident here that this was a total afterthought just for the US market. The Harman Kardon sound system is actually very impressive so far. I've been listening to some music for a little bit and it sounds really good, so I have to give it props there. The nice thing about this is that it does have both an auxiliary cord and a USB in. So I can play my iPhone music straight through the stereo using my lightning cable, because I have an iPhone 7, so I don't have a normal aux jack anymore. But it's perfectly fine, and I am impressed that a vehicle of this age has it, although I suppose there were quite a few vehicles by the time you got to 2011 that did have USB in. I don't think it was standard on most cars in that era though. You put the key in to that slot, and then you hit the start-stop button to turn on the car. And then to turn it off, you hit start-stop, and then you have to kind of push the key in, and then you can pull it out again. It's kind of bizarre, but I guess it works. Okay, so here's something that's very German about this car, and it reminds me of my Porsche, where I, for the life of me, could not find where to unlock all of the doors in this car from the inside. And you can't do it from the key because the key is shoved into that slot there. And I had my phone right here on this little magnetic phone holder, and so I, for the life of me, could not find where to unlock the damn doors. I had to look in the user manual, and I found that in order to lock and unlock the doors from the inside, you have to press this button. Let's take a look at the trunk. The trunk is a very good size for this car. I would say it's barely a little bit smaller than my Fusion. My Fusion is a much larger car. Maybe not a much larger car, but it's definitely larger. As you can see, I can fit this huge suitcase that's full of all my camping equipment and hiking equipment, and all my camera gear is right here. And it fits fine. I'll be able to fit my girlfriend's suitcase there when I pick her up from the airport, so it won't be a big problem at all. Unfortunately, although there is a pass-through window to the back seat, I have not found a way to fold down the back seats, and I don't know if it's possible. I'm going to take a look at the user manual later and see if that is possible, but it would be kind of a shame if those back seats couldn't fold down, because you could have even more room for storage and stuff if it could. I appreciate how these dual exhausts here are the real, actual exhausts. They're not trying to fake it with like faux 4 quad exhausts, or have one of them be fake or have them be a weird shape. These are the real exhaust pipes, and they go straight into the muffler, so it's not posing or anything. Of course, I would have preferred a 3-pedal manual, but I couldn't find any manual BMWs at all on Turo, and I was interested in like a German sports sedan. Literally all of them had automatic transmission, so I was stuck with this. But like I said, once you put it into sport mode, it actually feels pretty good. And since I'm going to be doing a lot of sort of long haul driving, maybe an automatic was the right choice anyways.